Welcome back, folks. It is 5:46 on this very chilly Thursday morning. I'm Josephine Sage. Let's jump right into the forecast. Taking a look at America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. It's a little bit dark outside, and as you're headed out and about, you are going to be seeing a little bit of some low visibility as well as some pretty icy roads as you're headed on your morning commute. These icy roads are going to stick around with us at least until this evening and maybe even into tomorrow, because we're going to have colder than average temperatures expected, and we're not going to return back to our normal temperatures at least until the early work week. We're going to be 10, 15, even 20 degrees below our seasonal average during these early morning hours, and even during the daytime hours, we're not going to get above that freezing point for at least a hot minute. But taking a look ahead, we've got the system impacting parts of the eastern U.S. as it's headed on over those plains. That's what we were experiencing yesterday, and we'll notice that in these purple areas, that's where we're going to have cooler than average temperatures expected, essentially all in these northern states. Even as we get into tomorrow, we're going to get a little bit of an increase in temperatures as this ridge moves on in from the west coast. But again, we're not going to get that peak in temperatures for closer to our seasonal average at least until Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday. Saturday, a little bit quieter as it moves off, that system moves out of that excuse me, that east area of the United States. But taking a look at our current temperatures, 4 degrees in Grand Junction, 5 in Montrose. We're down in those negatives as you move further east, and our temperature changed in the last 24 hours. Negative 21 is what we've dropped, so we've dropped 21 degrees in the last 24 hours. Montrose has dropped 17, and in some of these areas, we've also dropped upwards of 20 degrees, even closer to that 30-degree mark within the last 24 hours. Tonight, we're still going to stick around in those negatives. We're going to be down in those single digits in some of the areas closer to us, and our almanac is going to show us our high today is actually 36 instead of our typical 47 on the low end. We're looking at 4 instead of our typical 25. Our total snow cover will show us that we're in those double digits in those higher elevation areas. Up to 40 inches of snow has fallen in some of these higher elevation areas, and yesterday we were looking at upwards of 18 inches of snowfall in some of those areas. So definitely try and get out to those slopes if you haven't quite yet this season. There's lots of fresh powder. We'll notice in our state radar, this is that storm that's kind of moving on out. It's finally headed on out towards that Kansas area, and it looks like we're going to have some clear skies expected at least for today and into the weekend. Our snow potential as the storm is leaving across the plains, though, a bit warm in that north area, but it could be some pretty heavy snowfall as it gets towards those Great Lakes. And in the evening hours, that's when it's going to kind of start to exit as we get into Friday. Our radar satellite will show us that this is that high pressure system that's bringing in some of those nice, warmer, more mild temperatures for us here on the western slope. And we'll notice that we've got a little bit of a cold front that's still going to have a chance to hit us as we get into the weekend. Taking a look at the extended forecast, tomorrow 36, Saturday 39. And even down in those teens for the lows during the early morning and the late night hours. But we'll notice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to return back to those seasonal averages in those low to mid 40s. So for the next couple of days, make sure you take that jacket with you, make sure you take those gloves, and make sure you're driving safe out there on those roads.